Energy generated by a nuclear explosion is enormous. Mushroom-shaped...
The world almost came to an end in October of 1962. It's not fiction, it's not speculation, it almost happened, and in fact, in terms of probability, it should have happened.
This would have been the beginning of a nuclear world war, of which no one would have come out as winner. The majority of the population of the Soviet Union and the United States, and maybe the whole planet, would have died.
These are the most dangerous.
We have to know everything about the Cuban Missile Crisis to be sure that we don't go down that path again.
There were roughly enough nuclear weapons or enough nuclear power at the time to erase human civilization 1,000 times over.
And that was the first day of what historians now call the most dangerous 13 days in the history of mankind.
There was nothing illegal about the Soviets putting missiles into Cuba. The United States had put missiles into Turkey. Those missiles were essentially on the border with the Soviet Union. Khrushchev has his own motivations. He wants to erase the psychological advantage that the United States has in having these missiles in Turkey so close to Moscow. Khrushchev sees Kennedy as a pushover, thinking that this young U.S. president won't have the cojones, as the Cubans would say, to stand up and resist this initiative. The nemesis of John F. Kennedy during the Cuban Missile Crisis is thought to be General Curtis LeMay, the gruff and grumpy general who really wanted to just blow Cuba to smithereens.
LeMay and all the chiefs, all four services, want to go to war. This is what they do. On October 22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, President Kennedy gave the scariest speech ever given.
They all expect that Kennedy would announce an attack. And you can see that he is really grappling with the possibility of a real nuclear war.
Within the past week, unmistakable evidence has established the fact that a series of offensive missile sites is now in preparation on that imprisoned island.
To halt this offensive buildup, a strict quarantine on all offensive military equipment under shipment to Cuba is being initiated.
It shall be the policy of this nation to regard any nuclear missile launched from Cuba against any nation in the Western Hemisphere as an attack by the Soviet Union on the United States, requiring a full retaliatory response upon the Soviet Union.
Pretty chilling line.
And these actions may only be the beginning.
Kennedy starts launching low-level reconnaissance. He wants even better coverage of Cuba. And these planes come in really low, just above treetops.
We came across the missile sites so fast and so low that I'm sure that we took them by surprise. I remember seeing personnel down there. I remember seeing the actual launch pads that they had prepared. Lots of vehicles and buildings and warehouses and storage areas and a lot of camouflage netting.
They were flying very close to the ground, and you could even see the pilot faces.
The commander of the squadron took the developed film, and the very next day, our ambassador to the United Nations, Adlai Stevenson, used that film, those pictures, those prints, to prove to the world, starting right there in the UN, that those Soviet missiles existed in Cuba.
Do you, Ambassador Zorin, deny that the USSR has placed and is placing medium and intermediate range missiles and sites in Cuba?
You will receive the answer in the due course.
I'm prepared to wait for my answer until hell freezes over, if that's your decision. We will set up an easel here in the back of the room where I hope it'll be visible to everyone.
Wow. I mean, they were really down there. I mean, they're really close. I mean, they could identify people.
Yes, San Cristobal, in the island of Cuba, southwest of Havana.
The purpose being, whatever we would have to do, I mean, if we would attack Cuba to get them to remove the missiles or go in and destroy the missiles, we wanted the rest of the world to understand that we had good cause and that there was no way they were going to live with intercontinental ballistic missiles 90 miles off of our coast, which could reach any of our major cities in the United States.
is Radio Moscow. Premier Khrushchev has sent a message to President Kennedy today. The Soviet government has ordered the dismantling of weapons in Cuba, as well as their crating and return to the Soviet Union.
The world seems to have veered off, at least for the moment, the collision course toward global annihilation.